On behalf of Rotten Tomatoes, 93% of our critics have rated T2 fresh.
Ooh.
You get a certified fresh award.
I get a certified fresh 26 years later.
Yes.
I think not only didn't you exist, but Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist.
Bless you, my child. And that's why we're doing it now.
Pretty damn cool.
Right?
I didn't know that you guys did retroactive awards.
Hell yeah, we do. Well, for this, certainly.
Okay, all right,
well, because
good.
that's what's great about getting to see a movie again, especially in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I knew this movie was great, but now I get to re-experience it in a whole new way.
Right.
So I was wondering, when you went back and watched it for the purposes of converting it, was there one thing that you were really excited for audiences to see in 3D? Is there something you could pick out?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the physical presence of these big trucks and machines and the Terminator's motorcycle, it's just, you feel the power, you feel the mass of these juggernauts. And it's sort of, because they're always an expression of character. You know, Arnold's character, he has to ride the biggest motorcycle, drive the biggest truck.
Hell yeah, he does.
And the same thing with Robert Patrick's character, the T-1000. You know, it's all about machines with badass machines.
Right.
You know, against us poor little humans that don't stand a chance.
I've spent my life fascinated by T-1000 hands. Yeah. And those in 3D are so amazing.
Oh, well, that's actually a really nice point. When that needle comes out of his fingertip or when the blade comes through the door. We had some fun with that.
Yes.
But, I mean, I think the trick to a good 3D, whether it's authored natively with 3D cameras or whether it's a conversion, is to never kind of make it a gimmick, but always make it organic. You know, you want it to be present, you want it to be strong, but you don't want it to distract you in the moment.
Well, right. I mean, because it's about enhancing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. So our rule was only ever add value, and if the 3D becomes taking away from the scene, we just either dialed it down, or in a couple of cases we just didn't do the shot in 3D.
Oh, there you go.
And you'll never notice, because there are so many depth cues in a shot, even when it's actually flat, that your mind just flows right through it. And
well, yeah, because I mean, in watching the movie in 2D, it already felt very three-dimensional to begin with, and that's a credit to the shooting of it.
Well, I think it's a certain style, you know, more wider lenses, certain types of compositions where you've got something in the foreground, the midground, the background, when you've got multiple characters in a scene and they're all sort of composed in a way that it's very conscious of the depth. So it actually was a sweet film to convert because a lot of the 3D depth cues were already there.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Most of the work's done.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't say that. I think the 1,000 artists that worked for 6 months on the stereo might take exception to that.
Fair enough, yeah. Now, that's actually a theme that I see in a lot of your films. And so is there any kind of sneak peek as to another one of your movies that you want to convert that you haven't?
Well, I mean, I think it's a question of, first of all, we have to prove the business model. We proved it with Titanic, but Titanic was in a kind of class of its own.
Right.
If we can prove it with T2, and we don't know yet, then we might look at, let's say, Aliens, which I think still has a strong fan base. And it's also a film that, in the way that it was shot, I think would really benefit in 3D.
And also your episode of Dark Angel, please, thank you.
Yeah, I actually really liked that episode.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking about the season finale for year 2. Yeah, I like that episode.
If you could pick maybe any film from history, you know, just outside forces notwithstanding, to see in 3D, is there a movie that comes to mind?
Oh, look, it would be my list of the films that I love. You know, anything from Casablanca. I would love to see Casablanca in 3D. That would be cool. How about 2001: A Space Odyssey in 3D, going through the slit scan, you know, the Stargate? Yeah. That'd be pretty damn awesome. How about Gladiator? You know, I mean, you know, there are a lot of pretty great films. The problem is that the you know, I mean, obviously Ridley Scott could do Gladiator if he wanted to, but Stanley Kubrick's not around. Right. You know, and all the other big filmmakers that I've admired, David Lean and so on, they're not around. So then you get into the ethical question of, should it be done by someone else after the fact? And I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Yes, you can do it.
I think if it was a fellow filmmaker of stature that loved 3D and didn't do anything too goofy, like make gimmicks out of things, but just did a nice, it's almost like a restoration in a way.
Sure.
And it's sort of kind of how I thought of T2 3D. We did a 4K transfer from the original negative, and then denoised it so it's crisper and clearer and snappier than the 70 mil prints were in '91. So you're seeing something that's never been seen before, even before we get to the 3D.
Now, so many filmmakers, since you've been responsible for creating some of this groundbreaking technology, have wanted their films to catch up and even surpass what you've done. And most recently, Luc Besson did Valerian, and he mentioned you. He said, I want this visually to like be even better than the best thing we've seen, which is the technology in Avatar.
Well, he used some of the same people and some of the same tech to create the Pearl people that were kind of central to the story.
I don't want to say do you have any advice for them, but do you have any comment on that or any kind of encouragement for people that want to create and surpass what you've created?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't want to, Luke is a friend and a colleague, and I know what he was going for, what he was yearning for with all his heart, and it wasn't embraced by an audience. And I've had films that weren't embraced by audiences, even though I was proud of the film. So I know what that feels like. I mean, it's the quest that we're all on as filmmakers to find that story and those characters that resonate with the audience, and then get the right actor to inhabit that character. And I don't want to say it's luck, but man, you look back on it and you think, I got lucky. I got lucky with Linda Hamilton and with Arnold, Eddie Furlong. I mean, you look at that cast and you think, well, they're those people. You don't even think of them as the actor anymore. I don't think.
It's the character.
It's the character. The character, when the character takes on a life of its own, separate from the actor, even years later, then you've sort of achieved something in the zeitgeist. And the actors achieved something.
For sure. And I have to get out of here, but really fast. Sarah Connor or Neytiri on your fighting team?
Ooh, boy. Well, look, Neytiri would probably kick Sarah's ass because she's about twice her height. On the other hand, Sarah's pretty mean with that pump shotgun. So...
So shout out to my tall girls.
Yeah, exactly. It's tall girls rule. But I don't know. In a death, first of all, they wouldn't fight each other. They'd be on the same side, so it's kind of pointless.
There you go. Great.
But they might get drunk and brawl a bit, just for fun.